Welcome to Pirates of Drinax. We will be picking up where we left off last week. These guys are on Spurl. They are helping the Free Spurl Society try to liberate Spurl from General Development Company. And um, it, I mean, there's been some gains, but then a whole bunch of crap has now started to happen. In fact, the Spurl global or the local government, which is pretty much in debt up to their eyeballs to GeDeCo. So that means that GeDeCo, of course, pretty much uses the government as puppets to run the planet. And so they have realized that the Free Spurl Society has been siphoning off whales, and their ships are coming back into the downport Startown with half the cargo that they would normally arrive with, and so they are now over 6 weeks. Things were great, and now they're not. They're going to start. The government's going to start dealing with this, and part of that is that they have sent out a number of vessels at gunpoint to put an end to this. GeDeCo has brought in their privately contracted mercenary security force, Aradnus Security Services, who has some background with Keith, Devon's character, because they killed the commanding officer of Aradnus in the past. And so there's some bad blood there. And, the shit's about to go pear-shaped, essentially, is what the story is. But these guys went to the Star Town, and they blackmailed the Minister of Agriculture and Wildlife, and he's going to try to grease the wheels of bureaucracy, as you might say, to kind of have things go in the direction that the travelers want them to go. But of course, bureaucracy moves at the speed of molasses in January, and so it is very unlikely that that he's going to be able to do anything quickly enough to prevent these guys, or prevent these whalers from having a potential confrontation. The travelers also, by the behest of Captain Beth, they took some of the arms, the tech level 8 arms that they had picked up from Trojan Hardware, from when they dealt with Prince Richter. They took some of those arms and they dispersed them amongst some of the Free Spurl Society behind Armandi, the leader of Free Spurl Society's back. And she is a devout pacifist. She doesn't want any kind of violence. But they secretly armed these individuals, ones that they could trust. And so these guys are out there armed, and some of the society members that they gave guns to don't appear to be too afraid to use them. So this could really blow up into a situation. The last thing that happened was so up in Spurl space, they left the Osiris, their command ship, and they left the Scout's Honor, another Harrier, and doing what they do. The Scout's Honor pirated a free trader, or a far trader, that came in, and this tramp trader came in and they pirated it. And during the pirating of it, they discovered that there was a secret cargo hold, concealed spaces. Of course. I mean, of course there is, right? But it wasn't shocking that they found concealed cargo space. What was shocking is what they found in it. And what they found in it was a large encrypted data drum, similar to what would be shipped for mail between worlds. And you have seen these types of data drums before. In fact, I think you've actually taken some with you as speculative cargo, because it's a sure thing, right? And so this is very similar to that. The difference being, of course, is that it is even more highly encrypted than the mail drums, and it is going to take quite a bit of time and somebody with some very, very good computer skills to crack the data on this. But in the message buffer was a initially it was a report, or a summary of a report, that is known as the GeDeCo report. And that message was that essentially stating that that whoever this was to is that you're screwed. The Aslan are inevitably going to eat the Reach for lunch, and there is a high probability that they will go far enough to take Corridor Sector and cut the domain of Deneb off entirely, as their attack will likely coincide with some other imperial crisis like a civil war. All your work building up the economy of the Reach just makes the world more attractive to conquest. Now, the funny thing about this report coming in now is that the opening salvos of the Fifth Frontier War up in the edges of the Spinward Marches have been fired. So that very well could be that outside or coinciding coincidence of a crisis. That so this is a bit of a scary report. So that is where we left off. These guys are down on the ground in the star town of the Downport. Before we get started, we'd like to thank one of the friends of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They are just products that we really like. And today we would like to thank Fable Beard Company. Fable Beard makes wonderful beard products such as oils, balms, butters, beard wash, co-wash. They have all-natural deodorant, spray-on colognes, a number of things. There is a women's line under the FableBeauty.com address. And of course not for beards, but they have hair serum and shave serum and body frosting and facial scrub and all sorts of stuff that'll make you stank purty. And fantastic products. All of their scent profiles are a different fantasy character. Today I am wearing the Hero Beard Balm. Hero smells of a light cologne with a hint of pipe tobacco, and very, very light scent, but quite nice and pleasing. And because it's a beard balm, it keeps all the errant hairs where they're supposed to be. There is a buy one get one free for first-time purchasers. So if you head on over to Fable Beard Co. and create an account, you can get that by putting 2 beard oils in your cart, and when you check out, use the code FIRST in all capital letters, and that second beard oil will be discounted to free. We also have a merch store via Zazzle. We have t-shirts and buttons and hoodies and poster maps. There's a beer stein. There's a Whiskey Rocks class. There's all sorts of stuff on there. And 100% of the proceeds from that store goes directly back into the channel. It helps pay for things like, Incarnate Pro, or for making our maps, or Roll20 Pro, so that we can basically do what we're doing. A recent one is that it helped fund the payment for the video software that allows us to put this up on YouTube and Rumble. So if you want to help us out with that, help make ends meet, go get yourself a Whiskey Rocks glass and a t-shirt, and we appreciate everything you do for us. So you got this communication, and the guy that's one of the pirates that's contacting you from Scout's Honor. is telling you, nobody up there has the skill that they think they're not comfortable trying to get into this thing. But he does tell you that their best technician or the the best person up there with computers tells you that he feels like if they try to break into this thing or hack into it to decrypt the data and they don't do it well enough, it is set to basically erase everything.
If it makes you feel any better, the captain of the Scouts honor name is Froth Shotgun Burns.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are 2 people on the board that have computer 1.
Yeah, they are not comfortable at computer 1.
Be the pilot.
You guys need to pop some Adderall and get your asses up there. Make it happen.
You remember when I made all those fucking
Adderall and Jolt Cola?
No,
yeah,
I named all the crew members of all these.
That's right.
Positions.
That's right. That's right. You've got a spreadsheet of all their crew names.
I do.
Did you name your children the same way? No.
No.
No spreadsheet there.
I named my son, my firstborn son. I took my grandfather's first name, and then I took my dad's middle name, and then I slapped my last name on him and sent him on that way. And then my youngest, you
could have named him Frost. It could have. There's an alternate world where that happened.
Well, my youngest, we named him Andon and then we had another. We were broke.
Yeah.
We were so fucking broke. Oh my god.
It's funny you say that's a lot of times that's how I come up with names for ships. So you take 2 famous authors or movie screenwriters or whatever, and you mix their last names. So like George Lucas and Agatha Christie. There was a liner in our games called the Lucas Christie.
Well, the pilot is Sarah Hobbs.
Yeah.
She's an author. She wrote the Fool's Apprentice series. I mean, she's actually somewhat known, but yeah, Sarah Hobbs is the pilot.
So,
Scouts are.
Yeah, and I mean, if you want to get really technical in world, and there is a website, I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but they've got Volani name generators. And I mean, and you could do Volani, you can do Soleimani, which at least you can pronounce the Soleimani names because they're just Earth people. And then they've got hybrids, so maybe your mom was Soleimani and your dad was Volani, so, nobody can pronounce your last name. And so, yeah, you get these really weird names. And if you really want to screw people up, try giving them Aslan names or Vargur names. And Vargur names are so bad that they are so unpronounceable that most Vargur just pick a simple human name that they go by. It's like, nobody can pronounce my name, so I'm just Bob. Same with Hivers. There is a
like an Indian call center situation.
Right? Yes. Yeah.
Or
China. Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite sushi joint has these people from Indonesia that work there. They're all Indonesian, right? But when you ask them their name, they're like, "Oh, I'm Elizabeth," or "I'm Ted," "I'm Sam," "I'm Mary." No, nobody has an Indonesian name,
right?
And we love them. I mean, when one of them went home to visit all her friends, she brought us mementos and shit from the airport. Because
I worked for a computer shop of highly dubious nature. But it was owned from Chinese guys that barely spoke English.
Yeah.
But their names were Tony and Mark.
Tony.
Like, and I was the only white guy there. Why? Plausible deniability. Yes. Yeah. I'm not exaggerating or lying. That job ended with an FBI raid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No shit. Yeah. Yeah, they ended up knocking over a Intel warehouse and skipping town at the last minute. Clean the shop out at what was it? It was like 2 in the morning on Thanksgiving after knocking over an Intel warehouse and then skipping town.
Yeah, the best thing to say if the FBI comes is you should say, "I'm not giving a statement at this time."
No, that's not what I said when I showed up and the FBI was there raiding my office. I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on? That was what I said. And they're like, huh, you don't look like the people that run this shop. I'm like, I'm the store manager. And they all smiled and nodded at me like, uh-huh, yeah. I was like right out of college, so, you know.
Oh, hell yeah. But yeah. I did tell a cop the other day, he pulled me over. I was going like 60 at a 55. It was a bullshit pullover, but he pulls me over. And as soon as he comes up to the window, I go, "Sir, have you been drinking?"
Yes. Yeah, throw him off like right away. Like,
he stopped and he looked at me, and I go, "Because I clearly smell alcohol, sir." and yeah, they called a dog on me. But whatever.
Oh, man.
Anyways, so
yeah.
So, yeah. So they are radioing you. They are not comfortable, or it's not that they're not comfortable. They are aware that this is probably some important shit. This summary was in the message buffer. And the message buffer is really the only thing they could get to, and this was the only thing in there. And
we've got this big concert that we're about to have on Planet, right?
You've already had the concert, but you have alluded that you could do another. Yeah. That was part of your blackmail.
So we could have them
200,000 credits.
We could send the.
You want to go up to the barrel?
We want to go up and get it, or get it brought there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that is up to you. You've got this data drum. Not necessarily priority one. I mean,
yeah,
really?
It's not time sensitive, is it?
Right. The more time sensitive situation is that you are aware that there is a boat. Where's my boat?
Yeah, it's the frigate.
Yeah, there's an.
Yeah, we got to go deal with the.
Yeah, there is an Achilles class frigate, and a couple of gun skiffs, and a Liberator G carrier that is, as we speak, heading to one of the whaling ships.
Yeah, I really don't give a damn about the whaling ships, to be honest with you. If
I mean, if you don't,
that's, I mean, God, if really, if we decode this shit and we find out that, you know, the GeDeCo is gonna fucking get scared away, you know, that's better than fighting them and getting our names more warrants and bigger prices on our head. I mean, you know, what is the point of having
about what's in the barrel?
I want to know what's in the barrel too.
You could jump back into Anubis and head up to orbit.
Yeah, look, man, we gave them portable missile launchers, right? We gave them pacification police robots, right? And we gave them small arms, and some of that had RPGs and shit in it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we've given them what it takes to sink or swim. We've got other things. That's my suggestion. Vote whatever.
We got some fish to fry, even if they're not bigger.
Yeah. Just something that interests us more. You know, this drum, and all that. I mean, because if the drum has information on it, that means this planet is pointless anyway. then any efforts we put on here is really a waste of fucking time anyway. Just unless you just want to get violent and kill some mercs. I understand you have a bad history with them. We could nuke their fucking ship. I can find it on the
Yeah, I was just gonna say we could send a nuke on the way out. I don't think that's a good idea, but it's always.
But we can try to pull it off if you'd like. I mean, some well planned.
You want to drop a nuke on the? You want to actually drop a nuke on the
on the frigate?
On the frigate? I think that seems like a little bit of overkill.
What is the point of having nukes if you're not going to use them?
If you can't do a war crime, what's the point of having it?
Look, man. Look, it's going to stop the war.
We can't come back here if we do it, though.
Well,
right. Look at the drum. You gotta look at the drum.
Okay, yeah. So I guess that's what we're doing. We're going to do the drum and
you handed out 2 or 3 of these. I think it was, or maybe 4. You had like 3 or 4 of these. So
it was like everybody except that one chick.
Yeah. You pretty well. You were careful enough that you vetted the people that you were giving it to, because you didn't want them going behind your back and telling Armandi about this, and you then bullshitted Armandi into believing that the pacification robots were reprogrammed to use harsh language rather than machine gun fire. So
yeah, won't she be surprised?
Yeah,
it'll be like anger that she's alive.
Oh man, I'm interested to see how that plays out. But I think we also had some portable missile launchers that we had gotten. It was the ship that was grounded and
the turrets. Yes.
Yeah.
You gave those are set up at Liberty Port.
Yeah. So I mean, there's no reason for us. I mean, we've done that. We've given them what it takes to survive. If we could lend them some Marines, I guess, if it really came down to it. But
you got to cut the apron strings.
Yeah, I mean,
we put a lot into this mission already.
Yeah, so I guess it's pretty unanimous that we're gonna get on the Anubis and wish them well. And
are you even gonna go back to Liberty Port, or are you just gonna radio them? Go, okay, bye.
I think we're just
ghost them.
We'll send them a message going, "Hey,
we're going in the atmosphere. We're not leaving the planet."
Yeah, we're just going in the atmosphere. We have some things to look at. Y'all have a great time. Just know.
Good luck with the Achilles.
Yeah, looking forward to doing my next show in the downport. Really excited to try to get the opportunity to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's gonna write my new song based on this. The taint rash keeps on coming. It's gonna be a hit. You'll love it.
Oh yeah. So, you are cleared. You get back to the port, reboard the Anubis, and you are cleared for takeoff. Cameron, Captain Beth, you can make a piloting plus dex check. Uh-oh, what was that face?
What? Oh, I said 10.
Oh, okay. I was like,
yeah, everything's fine.
You made a face like, uh-oh. Like, did she crash into the comms tower as she was taking off? Oh, well, you guys didn't need that comms tower. We're leaving anyways.
Fuck y'all.
Get ready to move them.
All right. So, while we're leaving, can I see if I can find this fucking frigate with a scan?
Yes, you can.
Just
electronic sensors plus intellect or education check.
Not making any decisions here, but I'm going to add +2 because we have really cool fucking sensors here on this ship.
Yes, you do.
And that's 10.
Okay. So, as you zero in on this, somebody else can make an electronics comms plus intellect or education check, and that will, you get because of his his good sensors check, you can add a +1 to that.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, you are picking up comms. It sounds like there is a rather tense situation brewing, and as you are kind of flying overhead, this is what you see. Now, these, you pick these up first because they're in the air. So a common form of air travel on Sperl is through dirigibles, or rigid airships. They're not blimps. So they use dirigibles for everything from passenger travel to cargo travel. Because evidently nobody here is really in too much of a fucking hurry to get anywhere, right? You know, the Atlantic crossing takes 5 days. Hello, blimps. This is airplanes. You lose. But in the waters, you can see down here that there is indeed an Achilles-class frigate, and traveling with it at a much slower pace to keep so that it can keep up is a Liberator G carrier, and even you're close enough that your scanners are able to zoom in. I know that it's here. I put it in here. It is. So it is clearly showing the colors and flying the flag of Aradna Security Services, which I thought that I had done a logo for them. It's basically a white unicorn head on over a yellow star is their symbol. But there's this thing. It's TL10 and kind of heavily armored. That's rushing off from being in formation with the Achilles. Over here where the whaling ship is, the whaling trawler, there are 2 gun skiffs. Or, I'm sorry. Yes, 2 gun skiffs that are approaching rather rapidly. Now, these things are essentially just open-topped gun platforms. So, they're not terribly armored. As you can see, their armor is like 3 on all sides. And you can just pick off the people standing on top. But they do have a rather large laser cannon on the bow. They are rushing towards the whaling trawler, and you can tell that the whaling trawler is in harvesting activity. They have 2 harvester subs that are out there. But look, I think I believe that Beth and Keith are familiar with these, having dealt with these on Chachi-la-Weetakwe.
Yep.
And then, of course, the whaling trawler itself. I don't have any particular. I don't have any. Whoops. I don't have stats for it because it's really not a combat vessel. But it looks like this. This is the deck plan for it. It is not a combat vessel.
Yeah.
And of course, number 5, the deck wall, that is where the subs surface, and then the cranes on the upper deck kind of lift them up, and they unload the Sperl whale from the subs' tanks. And so that is the tense situation as you are taking off. So, I mean, if you were to commit a war crime with a nuke, I mean, this over here
Would be the sea carrier.
Yeah.
So this over here is a populated island. There's a small population over here. They've got a bay. And there's some kind of rocks and a big whirlpool over here, probably called Scylla. And I mean, if you were, I mean, no shit. These are like one-click squares. So if you were to drop a nuke, pretty much this map is going to eat shit.
Well, it doesn't have to necessarily be a nuke. I mean, we could fire a volley of 3 missiles, you know, maybe 1 for the Liberator, 2 for the Achilles class frigate, and see how that works out. Those gun skips might not be so aggressive if their buddies, you know,
Wait,
spot a big one.
I'm trying to remember what's in space around here though, because
we've got their merc vessel.
Yeah, there is
war.
a mercenary cruiser in orbit.
Yeah, but it's got, I mean, for it to pick up anything, it takes -2 for every layer of the atmosphere as it comes down on its scan rolls to see what the fuck we're doing.
True.
So, I mean...
Well, and I mean, the Merc Cruiser, I mean, they're armed to the teeth, but they are a spherical hull. That's not to say that they can't land on the planet, but they have some serious minuses to landing on a world, especially one with atmosphere and high gravity. This is why they are equipped with modular cutters. They could release a modular cutter. I mean, there's usually those are going to be geared out for dropping Marines and ground equipment. And, you know, there's probably, I don't know, there's probably a 60%, 65% chance that that they're not going to be ready for space combat. That they would have to take time to swap out the module, put in a gunnery module.
I just think if we launch missiles as we, you know, they don't necessarily even know we're around right now. If we, you know, go up into one atmosphere level and then get on the other side of the planet, dip down, launch missiles, and then exit, and we could. But, I mean, God, the way that looks, if we don't do anything, the whaling trawler's fucked.
Are there system defense boats out in space?
Yeah, there are several GeDeCo system defense boats.
They're going to be alerted and then they're going to come.
Yeah, I don't think we want to mess with the.
Well, there we go.
I don't feel great about this, but I also don't see the alternative. It's either going to take all of us down or they can fight. This is their shit. This is their cause. If they really believe in it, then they can fight for it. They got more of an advantage.
This might spark a civil war too. You know, they attack a defenseless trawler.
Yeah.
You know, it could really stir up some shit on this.
This could actually work. I mean, if they attack this in air quotes defenseless trawler. I mean, they have small arms and maybe some RPGs, but you know, you're right. This could theoretically actually work in their favor.
All right, well, we'll see how that plays out. As we're going to play with the drums.
Okay, so you're like, see ya. I mean, worst case scenario, you don't get the free biochemicals for Drinax.
Right.
I mean, you know. So you bail. And get your ass back up into orbit. So are you going to dock with the Osiris?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have to make fucking spaceship Voltron and come together.
Okay.
Right? I mean,
giant Harrier,
yeah.
So Cameron, you can go ahead and make another piloting plus dex check.
9.
Excellent. So you guys meet up with the Osiris and you dock and kind of transfer command And
we just want to kind of go somewhere quiet and do our
You
computer
guys
work,
want
right?
drugs? You probably got drugs on one of these ships. You want any to make your roll better. Who's this jabroni?
That's that big old merc
Oh,
cruiser, yeah.
so there is a Merc cruiser on the other side of the planet. Around these 3 moons, around 2 of the moons, that of the 3 that orbit Spurl. So you guys, you get aboard, and you know, they give you a sit rep, and you know, they show you this drum. I don't have a picture of said drum, but yeah, I mean, it looks like it looks like an unmarked mail drum, very similar. They also tell you that they didn't bother to take this far trader. The captain of the Scout's Honor tells you that they looted it, and they came back with. So this thing was called the Exalted Spirit, and I have a cargo. Oh. Oh, never mind. I didn't need to roll dice. So it has. They found a cache of gemstones worth 2 mega credits.
Are you?
right?
There was 40 tons of advanced machine parts, 10 tons of advanced electronics, and 10 tons of robotics. Total value was 8 mega credits.
Dang.
Wonder if we could. Yeah, we
Sell that.
kind of. Yeah.
So I mean, if you use a fence to sell this, I mean, obviously out of the 8 mega credits, the fence is going to take the lion's share of that. But I mean, you could still walk away with 2 mega credits, and you didn't have to really do anything. But they didn't bother to take the Exalted Spirit because they said the thing is just a piece of shit. I mean, it barely runs. They did, and the reason why he knows that it's a piece of shit is because they did question the crew. And so there is this spacer, I guess, urban legend of what is known as the sour jump. And sometimes, basically what the sour jump is that sometimes things just don't go your way and everything goes disastrously wrong. And so this was part of that. And the only way to get past the sour jump is you have to make a good jump. Well, they have had like 3 sour jumps in a row. It's just bad luck. They showed up here, and you know, now they got pirated. So their bad luck is turning worse, evidently. And the captain of the of Scout's Honor basically tells you, like, the ship is a piece of junk. I mean, the most valuable thing on it, they had 2 single turrets with beam lasers. The rest of the ship is garbage. We took their cargo. We found their secret stash of gems and this data drum, And you know, to be real honest, I kind of felt bad for them, so I just left them with their ship.
Did we get out of here? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Where do you want to go?
pirated.
Hold on here. Let me bring up your big map.
Yeah, fucking with this drum, we might be better off in jump space,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then where
Let's
do
spend
we
a week
go?
working on it in jump space.
So with the 2 Harriers attached, you only have jump 1. You can separate those Harriers, and all 3 of your ships then have jump 2 capability.
Have we
And
ever
we
gone to Falcon?
I don't believe you have.
We have not been to Falcon.
Let's jump on over to Falcon.
All right.
Okay.
So we're headed to the Falcon.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to look at
It's
Falcon.
brand new.
To be real
I
honest,
think it's got an Imperial port in it or something.
let's see.
It's blue.
Got it.
That's a good sign.
Got a gas giant.
It's got a Class A starport that's really nice.
Okay.
So your library computer tells you that Falcon is a hollowed-out asteroid dating back to the Soleimani wave of colonization. The natives of Falcon practice strict population control to avoid overtaxing the capacity of their world. Over many generations, they have become dependent on Falcon's precise mix of bacteria and germs and must wear encounter suits when traveling beyond their home. Visitors are not allowed to interact directly with the Falcon environment. A small section of the asteroid is set aside for them.
Weird. That sounds cool. We've been to Inurin before.
Inurin?
We have been.
It sounds
Yeah, Nurin is an Earth-like prize world. Considerable mineral deposits and rich farmland, heavily balkanized with a population of about 40 million divided into several largest nations and many smaller groups. There is no officially designated main starport. Any ship approaching will be bombarded with, yes, you've been here, bombarded with offers, inducements, and threats to try to get them to land at one port or another. A few settlements are aggressively isolationist and will shoot at anyone trying to land unless they are a well-established friend. Yeah, you've been doing
I
it.
kind of want to see the freakish bacteria people on Falcon, even if it's through like a glass dome or something.
The bubble people.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a place that we're not known, so why not? Really,
True.
what we need is a week in jump space to try to break open this drum.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and not
So-
be dealing. I mean, if we just pirated some motherfuckers, we need to leave.
All right, go ahead and make a astrogation check.
Is that me?
Yeah,
That would
you're
be
the math
astrogation
guy.
plus intellect or education.
Okay, so that's 11.
Excellent. Who wants to make an engineering power plus intellect or education check?
I think too.
Yeah, without Glenn, we've got
Oh,
me
yeah.
doing all the engineering.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just put my boots up, and not do anything.
8.
Okay. And then last but not least, you can make a J drive. Well, hold on.
I got J Drive 1.
So, who wants to make a J drive plus intellect or education check?
That should be me.
Okay.
It's 15.
All right, I'm glad you get it.
So, yeah, even with the negatives, you still made all of that. Negatives for doing multiple things, essentially.
Right.
Your own task chain. So, yeah, you are able to make your jump. You end up making your jump just as the the 400-ton system defense boats are closing in on your position. But they were still out of range, and you jumped out, and you are now a week into jump space. So, Who's fucking with the drum?
It's probably
Look at your stats.
I vote. I vote. It's you. Yeah.
Compare your stats. Who's better?
Okay. So my computer skill is 1.
I've got a 2.
So I get a
computer
+2.
Yeah. I got
I mean,
2.
the two of you could do a task chain on this.
Let's do a task chain
Okay.
together, man. Let's both roll and add our effects
So
as a
you
buffer.
probably want the lowest one to roll first, so we can see what the plus or the negative is for
Okay.
the
That'll be me
high
then.
roll.
Right.
Right.
And then
8.
Okay. So at an 8, that's going to be. Oof, that's going to be a -2 to.
well,
King's
there's
roll.
the
You guys need drugs? You guys want some drugs?
Adderall and crack. That, you know.
Yeah, I
That's how
thought
we
that
used to do it at Steam.
genuinely would help.
well, hold on. What technical level is the drum?
It is tech level 14.
Okay, so
Oh,
you get a +1 due to the ship's computers being
Okay.
a 15, and the
And we're
intrusion
taking our
software.
time too.
Yeah, so there's a +2 for taking time.
So that makes it
right?
an 11.
And then 1 for the intrusion software.
That makes it a 12. So now you're down to a -1 on Ting's roll.
I'm gonna
If
take
you guys are
mine.
nervous about this, we could fuck off over to Tech World. Like they'll definitely know how to do it.
That's true. You have
Yeah.
friends on Tech World that would be able to do this. Holy
I got
shit.
17.
Wow.
All
Okay.
right.
So
Good for you.
During the entire week, Ting and Keith are trying to hack the drum.
We're doing drugs.
Doing drugs
Taking our
for
time.
sure. You know, just like the smoke area of any tech support place you've ever been to, there's guys out there smoking like 2 cigarettes at the same time. You know,
Well, actually, in the room we have this rule that we have this one hitter that we pass back and forth, and the rule is
you just have a fucking water pipe in there, right?
well, no, it's just a one hitter, and you have to hit the whole fucking thing, and you have to blow the smoke into the computer cabinet so that way it doesn't stink up the area. Because
you're probably
the computer
definitely on stems.
yeah, the computer towers and that whole thing, it has its own air cooling system, so that way Captain Beth don't know that we're getting high around.
Yeah, you guys probably don't sleep for 4 of the 7 days that you're in jump.
But I was willing to prescribe something. You guys just didn't talk to me more.
Yeah.
So, Captain Beth, that leaves you during the week. What are you doing? You can study.
Oh my gosh. I was training in skill carouse, so I was getting drunk again. I
Okay.
guess.
Okay. So there's another week
yeah.
of drinking.
Looking out the fucking window, drinking,
Yes.
staring at the sky.
I'll never learn.
Getting
Yeah.
drunk and looking out the window at jump space. I'm gonna lose my mind.
and using her rank to make motherfuckers look out with her, just some random Marine is fucking, just he got off his double shift and he goes into the galley and Beth just like walks in and goes, "Hey you, hey come on, and let's
Get over
drink,
here.
yeah, let's drink and look out the window. What do you see?"
So you are able to hack into this drum enough to get some additional information. If you
Nice.
were to get all of the data out of the drum, you are able to get in without triggering the failsafe that'll erase everything. But if you wanted to get everything out of here, you're literally talking about 3 years worth of time just trying to get the data out of here. But you do get some of it. And
Yeah, we'll get.
the data
Yeah.
that you get out,
I'm not role playing 3 years of hacking.
right?
Yes, you are. You will like it.
You are, and you will like it.
Get
So
shenanigans on.
one of your other crew members makes the suggestion that as they kind of pass by the. Actually, we have something for this, I believe. Show where the fuck you are at. So, of course, this is the deck plans for your ship. I would imagine you're probably 11. You're probably down in the cargo hold where this thing would be.
Yeah.
So you're down here in 11, and
got some music playing.
Oh, undoubtedly. And so one of the other crewmen is kind of shuffling around some of these robotics parts and whatnot. Yeah, this thing, you know. He makes the suggestion that if you wanted to get everything out of it, you could drop it off at Scholar Vorha on the floating palace at the Scholars Tower, and they could certainly get into it. Now,
yeah, and they've got a history of doing us right.
Well,
you know, everybody on Drinax has just been the most trustworthy individual.
That's true. That you know, if you were to talk him into doing this, you would probably end up having to owe him a favor because everything is fucking politics over there, right?
Yeah.
But the data that you do get out of here, the first thing that you are able to determine, there is a wireless communication device on this thing. And it is set up to ping, and then if it detects a return ping, it will then receive data. It doesn't send anything out, but it will receive data. Both of you can make an investigation plus intellect check.
Well,
pretty good. Jeez.
14.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Looking through this, you can cross-reference your star chart. Probably hope if I click the right button. And you can see...
Did you boxcar too, Keith?
I'm sorry? Oh, no, I got 11. And then I have 1 point.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well,
so
I say, we really rocked that fucking...
You can see that this ship has pinged and received data at Exy. It has received data at Arenasir. It has received data at Clark and Torpal. And it has received data at number 1. And it has received data on Asim, and it has received data on Drinax. Somebody on those worlds has sent data to the drum. Now, the first thing that Keith notices is that that the data that has been transmitted, its transmission coordinates, come from your fuel station that is around number 1's gas giant. And
can we find out what exactly was sent on each of these locations? Can we break that down just to find out exactly what was sent from number 1, say, or any of the stops?
You would have to spend the 3 years digging deeper to find out exactly what was sent.
So what we do know is that it's somebody linked to Drinax.
Well,
because they're at Drinax, they're at our space. Our
they appear to be different signals. They're from different individuals. And Ting,
from different.
You are able to pinpoint that the data that was transmitted to the data drum on Drinax came specifically. Let me. There it is. You are able to pinpoint that the data came specifically from this location of the floating palace.
So it's probably that dude that owes me money.
It came. Well, that would be from Rashondo's Bazaar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Rashondo owes me money always.
It might be Rashondo. It might be somebody shopping at Rashondo's Bazaar because isn't he the one who sells guns and stuff?
Yeah.
He sells everything.
Yeah, I feel like it might be. This might be a network of spies on all these planets that are collecting intelligence for GeDeCo.
Yeah. We definitely need to get some facilities where we can speed that 3-year time frame up to figure out what the fuck is going on here.
The other piece of information that you are able to dig out of this drum is that this data drum is owned by General Development Company.
Yeah, that's their people.
Yeah, it's their spies spying on, probably us, maybe somebody else. Maybe everybody.
Both of you can make another investigation check, and because you guys rolled so high before, you Keith, you get a +1, and Ting, you get a +2.
10.
Box cards, so.
Hell yeah.
So that's 14.
Okay. Between the two of you, you are able to cross-reference your logs, and you are pretty positive that each time that Exalted Spirit, because you have their logs, obviously, from pirating them, each time that Exalted Spirit was in the Drinax system was the same time that Rashondo had just previously docked at the floating palace. One of those times was when he had delivered one of your battle dress suits.
That is Rashondo. Or at least he knows what's going on.
Yeah, Rashondo definitely knows what's going on. Should we go back to Drinax and confront him, or what do you guys think we should do?
We're right near Tech World. It's been forever since we've been there.
I wouldn't mind going to Tech World, which would be on the way to Drinax, kinda.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I mean, we can hit Tech World, and then hit Hilfer, and then Drinax. Just blam blam blam.
Yeah,
and do it, and Tech World might be able to open this drum up, way better. I could probably sell this cargo there.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm wanting to find out about this fucking Aslan possible invasion. Is this a prediction or is there evidence?
You're not sure. That
right.
Yeah, is it just remnants from that bullshit fucking treaty we had?
You're not sure. You're I will say that I'm shocked that you're on the right track though. Because some of this goes back like 4 years. I mean, I've been waiting this long for this hammer to drop.
Right, and so I mean, we know that the treaty was bullshit, right? But it was used for negotiating purposes. So I mean, yeah, that's not necessarily true. We've been all up in Aslan land, and we've seen.
So the treaty was fake, but that doesn't mean that it's bullshit. It's possible that it was accurate.
Okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
the treaty. I mean, you know the treaty was false and faked, but that doesn't mean that it was complete bullshit. It served a purpose.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been to a lot of the big I mean, the cats are all in disarray right now in some kind of inner strife with the Empire and all that. I mean,
Yeah, they have their big thing right now, at least for most of the clans, is they are basically invading the Glorious Empire.
yeah.
They wanna wipe them out.
So, yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think it might be remnants for that.
Might be.
But I still I want to investigate that more. I mean, you know.
So you want to go? You want to go to Tech World?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll get our 2
for-
mega credits and investigate stuff.
Okay, so Keith, you can make another astrogation check.
Okay.
13?
Okay, make a power check. It would be a flat roll.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, +1.
+1. So 13.
Okay, and you can make a jump drive check at +1.
He's a busy guy. Must be all the drugs.
16.
He's like talking real fast. And... so I had to go back to the doctor, right? And because I took my antibiotics, I'm still congested, I'm still coughing. So I go back, they X-ray me again. They're like, "No, you don't have pneumonia anymore. You're clear." And he says, and they do a COVID test, which I'm like, the COVID test is going to be, it should be negative, because this started like 4 weeks ago. There's no fucking way that I could have COVID, right? Lo and behold, the COVID test was negative. So he's like, "Well, I'm going to put you on prednisone." So if you've ever been on prednisone, fucking A, that's a miracle drug, right? I feel great. Except that I have way too much energy. So if I'm talking really fast, that's why. My metabolism is through the damn roof. And so all these people are like, 50 plus are like, "Oh, if I only had the energy of an 18-year-old. No, it sucks because I haven't slept for 2 days. But, like I took 2 Benadryl last night just for the knockout effect, and I was still up till 1:30 in the morning. Yeah, so actually I was up later than that, but I was up playing MechWarrior until 1:30 in the morning. Then I tried to go to bed and stayed up watching murder porn until 2:30. 48 hours on Pluto TV, the best in murder porn. So, yeah, so prednisone. I mean, I feel good, but I got to say I'm not really a fan. I was kind of into the whole, hey, I'm 51 now, and so I can slow down. No, not on this. But so you guys jump to Tech World. What are you doing in the week of jump? More studying?
I'm
I'm
studying.
going to study that carouse skill some more.
All right, drink some more.
You guys are doing good. You're doing
I'm
great.
going to do art holography. I don't
Okay.
know.
Practice
Hey,
your
why
art.
not?
I'm doing art performer.
Okay, so you're probably not wearing headphones knowing Tang, so you're in there composing. I'm creating. And the whole ship has to listen to it.
It's good
I'm
for
taking
the
it. I'm drunk.
morale.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. So yeah, you guys can mark it off another week of study. So when you reach that 8-week line, let me know so that you can make whatever check is necessary. I really think. Let me double check this because I mean, carouse. That's not going to be an education check.
Body can physically handle it. Yeah.
I gotta find it again. guess it's not there. On here, I shall peruse the index. Skills training. Okay. I really wish they would have made this easier to find. Oh, I know what I can search for. Yep. Okay, so it says so it only talks about that you can't do jack of all trades, and athletic skills would use their appropriate physical skill. Carouse is a weird one.
It seems like it'd be social or endurance.
Yeah, probably social.
One of those.
That's what I was kind of thinking endurance. Because you're, I mean, it's kind of both, right? So it shows, yeah. So drinking someone under the table would be 1d hours endurance check. Difficulty varies by liquor. No, it doesn't. Gathering rumors at a party would be 1d hours in social. So I would say for carouse, because this part of your training is trying to beef up your tolerance. I would say it's probably going to end up being an endurance check. Yeah.
Okay, that works for me. Drinking alone during mysterious training.
There's a purpose to this. So you guys jump to Tech World. What are you doing at Tech World?
We're getting rid of our shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to go sell stuff and buy some robots.
Okay. So on Tech World, did I put that? Did I do
Yeah, I need to sell all of the shit that was pirated and the gems.
Yeah.
And
There's 8 mega credits for the stuff all together.
So right,
And
but
then
you're
Dragon
gonna
Knight
have to
too.
fence it. But because Tech World is it's a haven for you.
I've got 2 in broker skill, plus fabulous packages.
So on Tech World, couple of things. So the first thing is, on Tech World, you run into, of course, your automaton that the android that usually meets you is there, and she lets you know that an acquaintance of yours is also present in the downport at Tech World. And you haven't seen this guy for a while, but it is Rafe Zentuli. Zentuli is basically a fixer, but he particularly deals in information services. But he has also worked prominently for you guys as a fence of a number of different items. Because you are in good with him, you can go ahead and, well, whoever is trying to sell this stuff, you can make a broker plus intellect or education check.
Eddie King.
Yeah, that's +3 for me.
Yeah, and you get to add your fabulous package.
Fabulous. 11. And you said I get to add more to it because we're in good with him?
Yeah, so because this is a haven, and Tech World is starving for stuff, you... God damn it. Just being a pain in my ass. You are able to... You're not able to get a full 8, but you are able to get 4 mega credits out of it.
Okay, I will add that.
Yeah, we were kind of expecting 2, so...
Yeah, so I mean...
Yeah,
That's great.
was cool. Yeah.
The gems, of course, are 2 mega credits worth of gems. He can turn those into cashy money for you, but that will be 1.8 mega credits.
Yeah, I think we should do it.
He's got to wet his beak, of course.
Yeah, that's fine. And then I would like to...
So that's a total of 5.8?
Yes.
Is that right?
Correct.
That totally makes up for the money we used bribing in the last bit. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shit, right? He also tells you, he says, you know, he's happy to fence this for you. That he has been working with some of the locals of Tech World. He's been assisting them in, you know, getting them information specifically about the potential response from GeDeCo, since you essentially have succeeded in kicking general development out of Tech World. And he says he tells you he tells you a couple of things. The first thing he tells you is that the response from general development has been very odd. They are not. It doesn't appear that from any of his sources that GeDeCo is making any moves to get Tech World back under their yoke. He says that's strange because, I mean, here's a massive Class A high-tech starport that they spent money getting these people, you know, most of the scientists here, Palindrome, they were renegade scientists from Palindrome that GeDeCo shelled out money to move here so that they could be mad scientists and do whatever they wanted with no oversight. And then GeDeCo spent money to build this high-tech nanobot starport that to their specifications, and they're not making any moves to reclaim it. It's very strange. And he says the other piece of information is that he heard a trade ship came in, and information on the street is that Spurl has indeed broken out into a small civil war. He says something to do with the Free Spurl Society. He says they're he says, well, it appears that, and he specifically names you guys. It appears that you have been some very naughty individuals But the word on the street is that it's possible that you may have armed some of this protest situation that was going on with the Free Sparrow Society, and GeDeCo and the local authorities on Sparrow sank several boats of the whaling trawlers. And the leader of Free Sparrow Society, who is a well-known pacifist, flipped a switch and has declared war on the starport. And he says that she is bordering on psychopathic in her endeavor.
Well, the important thing is that we were right and she was wrong, and she admits that now.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe we should have dropped that nuke.
I was almost thinking of taking the worthless ship and crashing it into the planet. You know,
just send it on a free fall.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I guess there were people on it, so I was like, that's worse.
So, he does tell you. He says that because of your involvement, your name has come up in certain circles, government-wise, in Sparrow. And he says, you know, for an easy 125,000 credits, I can make some of that go away if you want, you know, some cleaner bills if you ever want to go back to Sparrow.
You know, man,
That
we have
seems
our
cheap.
yeah.
We did just make a shitload of money.
Yeah, why the fuck not, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, so if you want to toss him in a 125,000, he can see about cleaning up some of that mess, paperwork-wise, that was back at Sparrow.
Okay.
You know, what I'm really concerned about, wanting to know, now, we're not able to do this whole drum because we're constantly having to hack it, right?
Right. But you know that that on Tech World, there is, you know, obviously considerable higher tech. They have ways of doing things. And if you want to ask him, or you can go see one of your special scientists, although part of their building burned down. Special scientist. I would think that by now they probably rebuilt it.
Yeah.
That was a while ago.
Cool. Visit our special friend.
Our scientists.
Yeah. We got rid of white food.
I need
I think.
to.
Do you think they bother?
I need to
And like
remember.
some people are scientists. Do you think they all wear the coat still?
Do they wear the coats?
Yes. Yes, of course.
You guys know.
So Dr. Jolly Aster was killed. I thought there was another guy though. Yeah, Dr. Jolly Aster was killed, and your other contact ended up being a nano android, the Protector. Basically a godlike figure of palindrome, or not palindrome.
I forgot which planet it was. You know.
I know, right? And I mean, it's a fairly important one. Let's see. You know, with the Shield Church and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Newman.
Yeah.
Newman. So yeah, you don't have anybody. You don't have anybody left that's special. But Wraith tells you that And he kind of points to your android companion, your liaison, who you have had many dealings with. She had a name too. In fact, I wrote this. Why am I not remembering her name? Her name is Aurelia. She looks like this. And he kind of references Aurelia, and he tells her that um, that that if you want to get into that that data drum, he says you should he tells Aurelia that she should take you guys to see enigmatics.
Yes, let's go to whatever that is. That sounds cool.
So
Yeah, sounds like a wonderful experience. I also think that do you know that a system defense boat with radiation shielding is only 15 million?
is
For real?
I'm just saying
that for a 200 tonner or a 400 tonner?
200 tons.
Yeah, I mean that's
Dang.
got
That's
a
great.
lot more guns than any 200-ton jump capable ship.
I was just saying if we wanted to, you know, this is one of the few places where you can get, things like that, or at least probably because it's a TL-15 ship. So, I mean,
How do you get it over to your planet when it doesn't jump?
You can use a
Well-
jump tender.
Oh,
we use the Osiris.
With the 200 ton, yeah, we could use the Osiris. It would be a little tricky because we've got to cross a gap.
Yeah, you'd have to use a jump bladder.
Yeah, but we already have the jump ladder.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, that's true. Okay, that's not bad.
no, I was just throwing that out there.
What you're talking
Yeah,
about?
well-
To put a SDB at Drinax?
It would make sense if we got a message that says get fucked and the Aslands are all gonna invade. Then yeah, seems like the time to invest.
I mean, now is the time, and if we've got, 30 or 40 million,
We got 28 plus 600 more. Yeah,
yeah. So, I mean, God, 15 for a brand new one. That's with the radiation shielding. You could get it for 10, and it won't have the radiation shielding, but it's still, I mean, God, it's got a 13 armor on it. I mean, it's funky nice motherfucker. It's the same motherfucker that's been hounding us all these times.
yeah, true.
Yeah, we don't want to mess with one of those, so
That'd be nice to have one on our side.
yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
That would be a
Yeah.
pleasant change to have one on your side.
yeah. They're on
Okay.
page. If it's 175 of the High Guard, 2022.
Let's make sure we discuss it before we leave the planet for sure, because that seems like
Yeah.
a really good idea. I'll try and think of a downside.
I mean, it's just we make the Osiris take a long, slow. We can even have the Scouts honor with it if we want. We can go to Drinax or wherever the fuck we want, but I mean, we have the ability to transport that shit and drop it off.
I mean, technically, you could transport two of them and send Anubis and Scouts Honor ahead.
Sure could. It wouldn't really hurt us too much, but I mean, that's a lot more mega credits just gone.
Yeah, that's like all the money gone. And
So if we buy the unshielded one, that's at 10 each. Is that right?
Yeah,
10 mega credits.
yeah.
Might
And
wanna
to
do
get the
that.
radiation shielding on it is 5. I think that's the way that reads.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's how it works because it's half the price to get the shielding.
you could have one with shielding, one without, or are we unconcerned about the
I just said
having
it
it?
had the, I mean, we're probably one of the very few people that have the nuclear shit that uses it. You know, but then if the Aslan do come across, they're not going to have any qualms about using that shit. But, you know,
Yeah.
if
I'm gonna think it over what we should buy and what we shouldn't.
yeah, I mean, there's no rush. I was just pointing out the opportunity to actually get one is now. Yeah.
So, as you are coming into the Aurelia leads you off to the one of the tech corridors of the capital city of Tech World, which is essentially the only city on Tech World. She does tell you. She says, she warns you. She says that Dr. Enigmatics is peculiar.
I'm here for it.
She says, but they're a expert in how should we say it? Analysis and prediction systems. They should be able to crack this data drum in no time at all. Really, they can predict ahead of time what GeDeCo would have done for whatever kind of counter intrusions, and just automatically bypass it.
Okay,
we found the right guy.
Yeah.
So,
what makes him so peculiar, though?
She says it'd probably be better when you'll understand once you meet Dr. Enigmatics.
Okay. Yeah, your warning didn't really give a warning of anything. Is the problem? I mean, because we know we'll find out when we meet the motherfucker.
She just wanted you to be prepared, and so she leads you into this lab. And there is this lab. It's a typical computer lab. And you see a number of people milling about, technicians, what have you, and they don't really pay you any mind. And sitting on a pedestal in the middle of this computer lab, you see... Come on, there we go. You see this.
Ooh.
And Aurelia explains the situation to some of the lab techs that are there. And you guys can go ahead and make a persuasion plus soc check. Whoever wants to be persuasive.
I persuade 1 and 2 social, which is not a good thing.
I got a 14.
Okay, so with Ting's...
I'm fabulous.
Yeah, with Ting's assistance, Aurelia explains the situation to these computer geeks. And the reality is that the idea of breaking into a GeDeCo data drum is quite exciting to them. And so they turn to this thing that is sitting on the pedestal in the middle of the room. And one of the techs tells Aurelia to get some Teamsters to get the data drum from your ship. They're going to need to have it here. And it turns to this thing on the center console, or on this central pedestal, and it says, Dr. Enigmatics, can you assist us in getting through the data core, or getting through the data protection on this drum? And you see this thing kind of flash, almost like the cross between the HAL 9000 eye and like a storm globe. And you hear this disembodied voice say, of course, Doctor. Anything that you would need, I am here to assist with.
Nice.
And
so he's peculiar because he's an orc?
And it says, I have not been introduced to our companions. I am Dr. Enigmatics.
Hello.
I'll shake his orb. That was
Don't
him.
do that.
I'll rub the top of his little ball there.
You can pat it.
Yeah,
Pat
a
it.
little pat.
Nice to meet you, Pat,
Yeah.
Pat.
So, one of the scientists tells you while you're waiting for this drum to come back, he says, Dr. Enigmatics isn't really sentient. It's not exactly an artificial intelligence. It is, however, an extremely sophisticated analysis computer system. And there are a number of agent profile or programs and expert programs that are running in this thing. But essentially, Enigmatics, Dr. Enigmatics is this entire room. It's all of these computers are essentially a part of it. And he says, it's capable of solving complex problems such as predicting orbital mechanics or determining relative positions of two bodies from 3,000 years ago. It can do that in seconds. I mean, this thing is like 100 times more powerful than even your astrogation computers on your ship.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, we kind of came into possession of him. You know, he was sold to us on the black market. We're not.
That's the best market.
Yeah, that's the best market. We're not exactly sure, where he came from, but overall, he's a problem-solving resource.
Awesome.
And so these stevedores bring in the data drum, and Dr. Enigmatics kind of gets to it. And of course, now I have moved away from that. And initially, work with me. Initially, Enigmatics says, "Are you aware that this is a piece of General Development Company property?"
It was at one time, yes.
I was just making sure that you were aware.
Yeah, we have a liquidation agreement with them that we liquidate their items for them.
So he tells you, first of all, the pieces of data that are in here that have been received by these various different entities are all essentially, he says that they are spies for General Development. They are spying on each of these worlds. When this drum comes into a system, it sends out a communications ping. When it receives a response, then it starts to receive data. And essentially, it's a handshake saying, "I'm here, send me shit." And various things on Xe, it is detailing Imperial fleet movements, trade caravans, things of that nature. On Arunasir, it is monitoring the Aslan Ihati situation because Arunasir is kind of a hotbed for the Ihati. So it's kind of monitoring all these different worlds. On number one, specifically, it is detailing your finances coming from that fuel station. And when Enigmatic, I said he, it's not a he or she. When Enigmatics tells you that it is monitoring your finances, it details both of your aliases, your real name and your aliases. and it's tracking all of these spies are tracking all of that information. And Enigmatics comes forth and says that it is probably a foregone conclusion that General Development Company knows pretty much everything about you. And specifically on Drinax, it comes back and tells you that whoever this spy is on Drinax, it is sending in reports not only on on you and your activities for Drinax as pirates, which is not widely known knowledge, but GeDeCo knows. And it's not only is it doing that, but it is also detailing the health of Drinax as a whole, specifically on its ability to be the second coming of the Sindalian Empire. There are also reports that have come in from Birney, just a handful, a dozen different worlds all across the Trojan Reach where these spies are dumping in data. And the last thing is that it tells you that this Giscarl report refers to a scientist named Jamel Giscarl. And Jamel Giscarl was one of the galaxy's greatest experts in the field of psychohistory. And so psychohistory is the mathematical modeling of large populations and forces to protect future events. It was partially discredited in the 800s after the psionics suppressions, but Giscarl's scandal didn't really help either. He was found to have been experimenting on primitive species on isolated red-zoned worlds, going so far as to introduce plagues to end up studying how a civilization will react to different catastrophes. And he fled into the Trojan Reach to avoid arrest by Imperial authorities. It is known that he spent about 10 years traveling the Trojan Reach on a Leviathan-class trade ship, gathering data and modeling this entire sector in a psychohistorical mathematical way. And that was when he submitted the Giscarl report. And the summary of that report is what you had already read, that basically the Trojan Reach is going to fall to the Aslan. And that is his mathematical conclusion. The second part of that report consisted of more than 20,000 pages of mathematical symbols. And there's no real plain summary, but essentially he could translate that math into what is going to happen in the future. And then he disappeared. Nobody really knows whatever happened to Giscarl.
Huh. That was how long ago?
Well, it is now at least 1107. The psionic suppressions happened in the 800s. So
several hundred years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's just basically he's playing Nostradamus and saying that eventually these Aslan motherfuckers are going to take over the whole area.
Well, he's more like the guy from Foundation.
Well, yeah, okay, but I see what you're saying.
He's essentially saying that according to his mathematical psychohistory, the Aslan are going to take over the Trojan Reach. And probably go as far up as into Deneb.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that coming. Seems like
Yeah,
it does seem likely.
it's a little weird that they're not afraid of the rabies plague being put against them if they decide to strike, though.
Right.
well, I mean, we can always recreate that anytime that we want. I mean, we know the information. You know what I mean? But,
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know if we necessarily want to do that. I
I
kind
don't.
of want to say let's take our toys and go far the fuck away from here and not deal with any of this bullshit. I don't know what we're going to do to stop a huge invasion, and I don't know what we're going to do to stop these huge fucking fleets of Imperial Navy coming through. But,
So this may this may be odd to you, but the information that is concerning your characters, both you and your alias, they are just one and the same, is actually shown in a positive light.
Oh, General Development Corporation wants us to be stronger to fend off the incoming invasion, and that's why they haven't stopped the tech world. Because we're on the side that's close to where the Aslan are coming.
If we build the
makes
kingdom of
sense,
Drinax, then that might
Form a buffer.
Well, we are
something.
trying to rebuild the port. I mean, we've got tons of fucking robots and drones over there. That, I mean, hell, I hoarded a badass fucking suite of drones and controller but drones and everything else to rebuild the.
Yeah, the port should be looking fairly good by the time you get back to Drinax.
Cool.
That we bring a system defense boat, and things start happening. But
if we can defend Drinax, then we can become more of an emperor, more of a draw for the other planets around us.
I think we need to maybe get this drum and get it back in circulation. We just need to be able to tap into it. Would be nice,
So, are you buying the? I guess the question is, are you still heading back to Drinax? Because you've still got this whole Rashondo situation.
Yeah, that's true. He's been spying.
And I mean, Rashondo he's very prominent in the court of Drinax. I mean, he's basically a part of the court of Drinax. And he's got his fingers into literally everything that the kingdom is doing.
I do think we ought to go investigate that. Yeah.
So then my question is, are you going to purchase one or two defense boats before you leave?
I think we should get.
If we get system defense boats, then we need to immediately get some more ships to sell. Piece them out. Just to reboost our fucking coffers,
So if we buy two the unshielded, we're still in pretty good shape. We'll still have 14 mega credits and some change. So with that,
I think that would be. I mean, that's a lot of firepower floating around the Drinax homeworld, and it might show positive steps. So Home Chicken and the Rasputin stick around.
Yeah, I mean, basically the Drinax Navy consists of a bunch of tramp traders, freighters, and
Yeah, let's get two system defense boats so we look like a real society.
and one Harrier that you guys have General Rax to operate as his flagship. Which looks ridiculous because he's at the head of a fleet of junk boats and whatnot.
Yeah.
I have erased 20 million credits are erased from being spent.
So you can add you can add 4 weeks to study time for anything that you're doing.
I'm wanting to make some purchases here while we're in Tech World, if that's okay.
Sure.
I want to order.
Boys be shopping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to buy. They cost 97 grand a piece. It's on page 148, Robot Handbook. The Band Bots.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Want 4 of them?
Let's see here. Robot Handbook.
It's the fucking animatronics from Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, these things are great, man.
He's gonna open up a Chuck E. Cheese. Oh, what
E
page is
stands
it
for
on?
entertainment.
148.
Charles Entertainment.
Yeah, they're the band bots. They have holographic and auditory systems where, I mean, they can, I'm thinking with 4 of these, I have a good show I can take with me and really put on a good show.
Yeah, they're backup singers and instrumentalists.
Yeah.
Yeah, 97,000 each. How many do you want?
I want 4 of them.
Yeah, I would say that you could buy these on Tech World. No problem, no questions asked.
Yeah, for the Rock Hardware show, and can I get I need to buy a couple of beauty bots.
Okay.
For groupies.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They are domestic cleaners and stylists. They're not hookers.
Oh, okay. I thought they were hooker bots.
Are you gonna get a bartender robot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get 1 bartender bot, and 4 band bots, and a beauty bot.
Got it on
do my hair and everything else, so that way, that keeps me looking and smelling great, and there you go.
Okay. Hold on. Oh, I got something for that.
I'll hold my hair while I'm turned to 4 hours.
So to show you guys what these look like, I know Wes already knows. There you go. These are the band bot, the bartender robot, and the beauty bot.
Nice. Cool.
So Ting now has, or I'm sorry, Rock Hardware now has his entourage.
Yeah.
Time to make a battle anthem.
Hell yeah. And
for Mr. Hardware. I'm sorry.
Hell yeah. And I'm spending all 4 weeks studying art performer.
Okay.
So that's 6 weeks total. I've been rocking out.
Got 2 weeks to go before the end of your study period. How's your carouse looking?
I've been drinking for 7 weeks, and I need to do one
more week of boozing to go before you can make a check. And what about art holography?
Art holography. So I've been going for 5 weeks now, and I was at 0. So I assume that I can roll once.
So you need to reach a total of 8 weeks, and then you get to roll.
Okay.
Yeah, and so
okay.
If you already have holography at 0.
Yeah, it's a 0.
Yeah, so if you at the end of the 8 weeks, if you succeed on your education check, that will go to 1, and you need to get it's basically 2D plus your education modifier. If you get an 8 or better, you gain a point in the skill.
Okay, cool.
I'll let you play with my bassist, man. They have holographic projectors to put on all kinds of light shows and shit.
Nice.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. That's yeah.
I have a hobby.
The only thing that I'm fucking sad about is, I really like the idea of being a performer and getting all the cool shit and being a rock star, but I mean, this adventure is going to end soon, and you know it's kind of bad form to pick it up again in the next character. I have to do something else, and so I think that sucks because then you know Rock Hardware will just go away into the history.
You could make your next character the #1 Rock Hardware fan.
Yeah,
I mean,
I could.
I don't know. You might end up hearing about Rock Hardware in the future.
Yeah, but he's definitely fucking doing his shit. But yeah, I'm spending good money on fucking bots and stuff to make the show more real.
So next week, we will be playing your Navy characters, and we will see what they have been getting up to. And of course, that has all been happening while all of this with Spurl and everything has been going on. So we're going back in time a little bit to what's been going on and transpiring with them, because this is all going to become a huge clusterfuck. All right, so I will see you guys next week at 6 p.m. and I will see Wes on Friday night for Deep Night.
Yeah, well,
Thank you so much.
It'll be Saturday too.
Yep,
yeah,
and
it's
Saturday.
pretty fun.
All right, have a good night, guys. I will catch you next week.
Yeah, thanks. Talk to you next time.